Hello everyone and welcome back. I'm Albert and today we're gonna drive the Audi A5 Sportback. Now, the first generation went into production in 2010 and was replaced by this one in 2017. And first impression when I saw this car, it was like, well, Audi did a pretty good job of changing a car with a futuristic design. And the car got more aggressive than the older version, and it got better technology, and it developed way better than its predecessor. Now, in the comment section below, you can actually tell me your opinion regarding the old version versus the new version, because, I want to know what you guys think, and leave a comment in the section below. So let's talk about the A5 Sportback. As you can see, this one has this beautiful blue paint which looks stunning in the sun. The front end of the car was completely redesigned and is looking quite good. So first impression is that they've changed the whole A5, and honestly I like how this one looks. It's meaner. The front grille has this 3D shape which got wider and bigger, and it's getting a lot of attention in the front of the car. Now, in the front bumper we have the parking sensors. We don't have any fog lights because the fog lights were actually replaced by the car technology in the light technology. We have these matrix LED headlights, and actually on this car there are two options. You can get the LED headlights and the LED matrix headlights. Now, I've checked online to see what's the difference between them. Apparently at the design they look exactly the same, or at least I've seen them exactly the same. But Audi says that the LED technology versus the matrix technology means that the matrix LED headlights have some little LEDs that turn on and turn off depending on what's in front of you. So I don't know exactly, and I don't spot this, but maybe if you guys spotted this, well, let me know about it.
Sporty and fit for the whole family. At least this is what Audi is saying about the A5 Sportback. An interesting fact is that the A5 Sportback costs exactly the same as the A5 Coupe. So in this case, why would you choose a 5-door car instead of a 2-door? Considering that they are approximately the same. Or are they? The A5 Sportback comes in 5 different trim levels. We have the SE, Sport, S-Line, S5 and the RS5, which is the most meaner of them all. The king of the jungle. The car that I'm driving today, it's the S-Line version, and this one comes with the 19-inch wheels, the S-Line body kit and the complementary sport seats and sport suspension. But wait, you can change this sport suspension with adaptive dampers, and then you can choose how harsh or soft your suspension is.
Let's talk about this side of the car. We have on the front fenders, we have the S-Line badge, which looks quite nice. It's a perfect reminder that you're not driving the SE version or the Sport version, but you can actually notice that you're not driving the standard one, because this one sits on 19-inch wheels, which they look quite good. The comfort, as you might expect, you think it's rough, but it isn't. I was quite surprised when I drove this car, and this one doesn't have the adaptive dampers. So with 19-inch wheels and sport suspension, I can actually tell you that it's quite a comfortable car. Let's talk about the rear end of the Audi A5 Sportback. We have these LED tail lights, which they look quite nice. They have this 3D shape, and I'm gonna show you what I mean with this 3D shape. They are not just normal tail lights. They have been designed in a 3D shape to look more alive, and when they turn on, they look quite good. Also, we have a stop light, which is right here. It's looking quite good. I'm gonna show you right now. In the rear bumper, we have the parking sensors, because this car has parking sensors in front and the back, which is, well, in 2022 is not a surprise anymore, but it's a feature worth mentioning. And we have the Quattro badge right here, reminding us that we got the all-wheel drive Audi. This one looks like a coupe, behaves like a coupe, but actually it has 5 doors. And one interesting aspect about this 5th door is that it's electrically powered. So we have a large boot, which actually has around 480 liters, and if you drop the back seats, well, you can get a lot more space. I don't actually know right now which is it. I have a lot of numbers in my mind, but I'm gonna put it right here for you guys to see it, so you can actually see how spacious this is. Because come closer and let's have a look. So right now, after we finished checking the boot, we're gonna press this button over here, which of course, as I mentioned, it's electrically powered, and it closes. And this is quite a nice feature. I like this because a lot of cars, even the BMW 4 Series, not all of them have this feature, which is a little bit annoying because this one can actually be a heavy trunk. But yeah, well, what can you do? Let's talk about the engine on this car. We have the 2-liter diesel engine, which produces 190 horsepower, and it has 400 Newton meters. We do have the all-wheel drive, and Audi says that this car goes from 0 to 60 in 7.2 seconds, which is not bad, but they also say that you can actually do 60 miles per gallon, which, well, I don't know if I agree with that, but I'm gonna show you what I did with this car. I'm gonna put the numbers on the screen. This engine is quite a reliable one. Low fuel consumption, low taxes. You get the automatic S-tronic gearbox, which has 7 speeds. Also, you can actually get this car with a manual gearbox, but I would honestly recommend to get the 7-speed S-tronic one. Audi has a lot of engines available for this car. You have 2 varieties of a 2-liter petrol ones. You have the 3-liter V6 for the S5, and you got the 2.9 twin-turbo V6 for the RS5. Of course, these are petrol engines, but you can actually get 3 diesel engines. Well, not actually 3, you can get 2 versions of the same 2-liter diesel engine, and you can actually get a V6 3-liter diesel engine, but that one has a different gearbox. That one has a dual clutch gearbox, and it's available just for the 3-liter and the S5. But for the other Audi's A5 Sportbacks, you can get a manual and of course the 7-speed S-tronic one. So inside the A5 Sportback, well, as you can see, the quality of the materials is quite high. Audi always created cars with good quality materials. The only thing that I'm not a big fan, it's this screen over here, because it seems like it want to go somewhere, but it doesn't. It is fitted over there. It doesn't go up, it doesn't go down like it does in different models, and other than that, nothing really annoys me. So let's talk about the quality of the car in general. Well, this car comes with Bang & Olufsen sound system, which is amazing. It has 19 speakers and around 700 watts, which on my days when I was a kid, with this kind of watts, you can actually power a discotheque or a club. And right now you have that music inside of a car, which is, well, it's truly amazing how the technology advanced. And I'm not saying that I'm an old dinosaur, but nevertheless. So the seats are quite comfortable. You have these sports seats. They are fully electrically adjustable. One odd thing is that this one doesn't have the electric adjustable steering wheel. I don't know how this comes, but normally when you have fully electrically adjustable seats, you do get this feature, but this one doesn't have it. So let's move on from that. The steering wheel looks good. It's sporty. It's exactly what would you expect from the A5. We have here the paddle shifters. We have the S-Line badge. The quality of the leather, as usual, is great. We have here the dials to change the infotainment system. This car doesn't have the Audi cockpit, which that one, yeah, as you can actually sense, that one is better than these dials. But I do like these analog dials that Audi has, and they are quite good looking, especially in nighttime. They look quite nice. Now, also this car has cruise control. It doesn't have the adaptive cruise control. It just has a standard cruise control, which is good because in the older versions of the car, you didn't get this cruise control. It was quite a rare option. I don't know why, but Audi didn't fit the old A5 Sportbacks and the A5 Coupes with this feature. In the gauge cluster, as you can probably notice, you have the speedometer, you have the gauge, you have the rev counter. Right here we have the fuel gauge, which these are a little bit electronical, and they look like in an airplane. I like this. So yeah, in the middle we have this screen that we can actually choose to see the fuel consumption, the driver assistant mode. And this car has an interesting feature. It doesn't have a head-up display, but somehow it recognizes when you're approaching to a roundabout, and it recognizes traffic signs, which is a little bit odd in my opinion, because you don't have the adaptive cruise control, but you have the sign recognition option. Yeah, that's interesting. Here we have the controls for the headlights, and on the door side we have the buttons for the window controls. We have the dial for the mirrors, and these mirrors are electrically adjustable, heated, and electrically retractable, which is a nice feature. I always like this in all the cars, and yeah, it's something that I like in this one. Now let's talk about the infotainment system of the Audi A5, because it's quite an interesting one. You got here the drive selection modes, which you can actually select them from down here, but you can actually select them also from this dial knob right here, which is quite good. It's quite useful. Now this car doesn't have adaptive dampers, so right here we have the driving mode. You have efficiency, you have comfort, you have auto, dynamic, or individual. Now as you can see, if you want to adapt this, you can only adapt the engine and the gearbox. You have also comfort and dynamic, so it's not a lot to adjust. And right here exactly the same thing is happening. So I don't know what to say about this feature. I think it's alright. If you want to save fuel, you can go on the efficiency mode, and the car becomes a little bit more domestic. But if you want to have a little bit of fun with it, considering that this is the Quattro version, you can actually go into dynamic mode and I don't know, test it a little bit. have some fun in your life. Now down here we have the aircon, which it's quite elegant. I like how this layout is right here in the climate controls, and these buttons feel really expensive when you press them. They are very high quality materials, and you can actually see that they are touch sensitive. When you press when you have a finger on them, you can actually see that something in the screen changes, and it's quite nice to see these options on this car. It's something really innovating, and I do honestly like it. We have heated seats, and of course right here we have auto off button, we have the traction control, we have the parking sensors, and right here we have the button to shut down the infotainment screen. Regarding the infotainment system, this one has the Audi MMI system. It's the 7-inch screen. It's okay-ish. It's not the 8.3 one, which that one is better because it has different features on it. As you can see, we have the driving modes, we have the sound system, and I mentioned that this sound system is quite nice. Radio, media, telephone, we have the sat nav, which is quite alright. I use this and it's quite easy to use, it's quite intuitive. But to be honest with you, on other Audis, the infotainment system was a little bit better than in this one. I mean, you had more options compared to the A6. I think that one is a little bit better than this one. Yeah, as you can see, pretty standard. One nice thing is that you have here the presets for the radio, and exactly as you can see, when your finger is above them, they actually are touch sensitive. The dashboard layout is elegant. I like this Quattro badge over here, and I like this continuous air vents, which they look good. Everything is elegant, everything is modern. The seats have this beautiful Alcantara in the middle, and this soft leather on the side, and of course we have the S-Line badge on the seats. As I mentioned, they're quite comfortable, and it's quite a pleasure to drive this car at long journeys. I like this gear shifter. It feels like you're in an airplane, and it's actually feeling like the acceleration throttle of an airplane. It looks nice, it's elegant, it feels expensive. Everything in this car was done properly. I cannot find anything to moan about it, which it's quite odd, because usually I moan a lot about cars, and but I did find some things to moan about this one, because, well, like any other car, it doesn't have all the features on it, but this will come in another video, so I'll see you in the next one. Being on the back seats of the A5, first impression is that this car is actually quite spacious. Now, they say that you can actually fit 5 people in this car. Well, I'm not agreeing to that, because as you can see, I'm quite an average person, probably a little bit bigger than an average person, but if you put 2 people like me in here, well, the third one probably is gonna fit in the boot. But, well, as I mentioned, 2 people, 2 adults can actually sit very comfortable here. You do have this armrest, which to be honest with you, in other Audis I've seen better quality for this one, but considering that this is actually an A4, it doesn't have the features as an A6 or an A8, so this is me being pretentious. Right here we should have the cup holders, but for some reason this one doesn't have the cup holders, so I have no clue why we don't have the cup holders. Again, it's probably me thinking of different cars, but, well, this one doesn't have cup holders, which is quite odd. They may be hidden somewhere here, but no, we don't have any cup holders. But what we do have, we have climate controls, which actually it's quite hilarious, because we have here a screen. I'm gonna I'm gonna turn the ignition on to see this, but from here you can adjust the rear temperature. What's funny about this is the fact that you don't have a fan speed. You can only adjust the degrees in the car. So if you want to have 22 degrees and the front passengers or the driver wants to have 26 degrees, he can choose the 26 degrees, you can choose the 22 degrees, but the fan speed will be controlled by the driver. So I don't know why they actually fitted this, but someone in Audi thought of this, but well, yeah. So sitting here, it's quite comfortable. You have plenty of room. The car, even though it has this slopey rear end, it's quite spacious and it's quite comfortable. And the seats, well, I don't have to mention that Audi always designed cool seats and comfortable seats, and even for rear passengers they thought to give them the extra comfort. So, driving the Audi A5 Sportback. First impression after driving this car for a while, it's that it's a complete car. It looks good, it's sporty, it's elegant at the same time, and well, it's economical. And yes, it's comfortable. You have these seats which they hug you in all the right places and they're comfortable. This one doesn't have the adaptive dampers. It has the sport suspension, and even though it has the 19-inch wheels, it's still surprisingly comfortable. So I was quite surprised with it, but yeah, this is a good surprise. The quality of the materials is high. The fuel consumption, Audi says that this diesel does around 60 miles per gallon. I didn't get that. I'm doing around 46-47 miles per gallon, which isn't bad, mostly driving around town and things like that. But even on the highways, I cannot reach that number. But well, probably some of you did. If you did reach this number, leave a comment below or tell me what was the most efficient trip that you took and your Audi had the best fuel consumption. Regarding practicality, this car is quite practical. You have 4 seats or 5 seats. You have a lot of compartment for the luggage. It's elegant to drive. The suspension is quite nice. The feeling behind the steering wheel of this car is quite good. It's like an expensive car. It feels like an expensive car. It drives like a sport car, which is a good thing. Now, if you want to be even more comfortable, then you can buy the A8 or the A6, but definitely the A8. But this one has a little bit of everything. So it looks good, it's aggressive, it has the sex appeal, because honestly, this 5-door, in my opinion, looks better than the 2-door coupe. I don't know why, probably because it's a little bit longer, maybe because the rear end is so sexy, but in my opinion, it looks better than the coupe. So tell me what you think about it. Do you think it's better looking than the coupe? Would you get one? I can actually recommend you guys, if you want a practical car which looks good, which is economical and reliable, because Audi has reliable cars. Now, I'm not going to talk about the older models, but the new ones are pretty reliable. Another thing that I find interesting about this car is the fact that it is very well isolated. It doesn't feel like an A8, which has double glazed windows and things like that, but it's pretty quiet in here, considering that the windows are frameless. So it's quite an interesting fact.